Pokémon and Hololive. Two franchises I adore, but let's find out what happens when we put them together. Hello YouTube, today we're answering the question, what if Hololive's Nerissa Ravencroft was a Pokemon gym leader? Alright, time for some context. Hololive is a VTuber agency with many talents who play video games, sing, dance, and many other things. A Pokemon gym leader is a high-ranking Pokemon trainer who is restricted to only using one type of Pokemon. They act as the bosses in the Pokemon video games. If you defeat 8 gym leaders, you can challenge the Elite Four. If you defeat the Elite Four, you can challenge the current champion. If you defeat the champion, you are now a Pokemon Master. Okay, Nerissa Ravencroft. What kind of Pokemon gym leader will she be? Nerissa is I would say, has a really refined and nurturing personality. As far as themes go, she obviously has themes with birds, especially like ravens and crows. So I think we're gonna use that to build her Pokemon team. So obviously we're going with the flying type. This gives us a ton of options. We're gonna try to match her aesthetics as best we can, but as always we may stretch some things just to round out her team better. We'll be trying our best to maintain her personality and maybe some of that cheekiness when we do her battle quotes. But for now, let's go ahead and get started on building her team. Okay, for Nerissa's first Pokemon, this one will be her ace Pokemon. I've decided to go with Honchkrow. Honchkrow is a dark flying Pokemon, a mob boss with feathers basically. He gets a pretty cool ability that lets him increase his critical hit chances. I believe the ability is called Super Luck, but that might not be true. But basically, he has increased critical hit chance. Honchkrow, like I said, looks like a mob boss, so we had to put him in charge, right? Had to put him in charge of the birds. And it's also a crow. And our theme is ravens and crows. Now the full team isn't going to be ravens and crows, but we at least have a crow right here. I think Honchkrow perfectly represents Nerissa's power and cunning. Okay, moving on to the next Pokemon, I went with Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is like, I think it's supposed to be like a vulture, but you know, it has like really dark colors. It's also a dark flying as well. And it's a very bulky Pokemon. I actually do remember using this Pokemon in one of the video games. I think it was actually the game it released in. I just can't remember which game it came out in. But I like this Pokemon a lot. It learns the move Foul Play, and Foul Play basically allows it to hit the enemy using their own attack power against them. It's a dark type attack. Pretty cool move. Mandibuzz is cold and calculative, picking off already weakened foes, using Foul Play to use strong Pokemon's power against them. Okay, let's move on. Okay, for Nerissa's next Pokemon, I have chosen Oricorio Sentu style, which is the ghost flying version of this Pokemon. This Pokemon can come in multiple different types. This is like the graceful spectral dancer, like it's the ghost type one. I picked this one mainly because it has darker colors, like to match the other Pokemon. And of course, it also embodies Nerissa's elegance. These Pokemon are known for using their dance to mesmerize people. So I feel like, yeah, it's a pretty good fit for her. This Pokemon learns a lot of, as you might have guessed, a lot of dancing related moves like Teeter Dance and Revelation Dance. It also can use moves like Mirror Move and Hurricane as well. And I don't really have much else to say other than I just thought it really matched her quite well. So moving on, we're going to pick our next Pokemon, which is going to be Corviknight. You probably saw this one coming. It's a metal crow. It's a flying steel type. Her armored knight, I guess you could say. This one could have also easily been her ace Pokemon as well. It's like she has 2 ace Pokemons. Imposing and loyal, it reflects her iron will and noble aesthetic. Really good Pokemon in general. I love this Pokemon, one of my favorites from that generation. Corviknight, of course, comes from the Sword and Shield era. It learns some pretty cool moves like Brave Bird, Hone Claws, and Steel Wing. It is a pretty bulky Pokemon, a pretty bulky little bird. It's not even little, it's actually a pretty big crow. This thing's like 7 foot tall. It says it's 165 pounds, but I just don't see it being that low. It's a big metal bird. According to the lore, these Pokemon act as the Galar region's airborne taxi service, which is pretty funny. Anyway, I think this one pretty much speaks for itself, right? It's a big old crow. Of course, it matches Nerissa. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, for Nerissa's next Pokemon, To round out her team of birds, we have Staraptor. Staraptor is just a really solid Pokemon. I believe it's normal flying. Learns really good moves like Brave Bird, U-Turn, Close Combat. Just really good bird Pokemon. Nothing really too crazy about this one. Honestly, I just think it's just really nice to add to her team of birds. So that's all I got to say on this one. Nothing special. Just a really good bird Pokemon for her team. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the 6th one. This one, I guess I don't know if I'd call it a stretch. You can if you want to. The last one is not necessarily a bird, but it is a dragon. This one is gonna be Noivern. Noivern is a flying dragon Pokemon. I wanted her last Pokemon to match the others and having like these darker colors, so I picked this one for that reason. It also uses sound to hurt enemies, right? Noivern, loud, fast, and destructive. It matches her, I don't know, unpredictable side. It allows her to remind challengers that she can overwhelm them with sheer force when needed. I like Noivern a lot as a Pokemon, and I think it fits her perfectly, even though it's not a bird, right? Noivern gets a pretty cool ability called Infiltrator. It can hit through moves like Substitute, Reflect, Light Screen, and Safeguard. They're completely ignored, basically. It also learns moves like Boom Burst, Hurricane, Roost, Tailwind, Air Cutter, and stuff like that. Solid Pokemon overall. Really good Pokemon to round out her entire team. And yeah, that was the 6th Pokemon. So let's move on to talking about her gym. Okay, for Nerissa's gym, I'm imagining a tall, gothic looking tower. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's gonna be it's gonna be like a storm kind of like wrapped around it. And on the inside, there's gonna be a lot of like, I guess I would say wind blasted platforms, maybe some shadowy staircases, and you have to get through it all to reach her. Her gym will definitely be filled with like bird keeper trainers. Maybe you have to flip some switches, you know, to open up some windows, close other windows to prevent the wind from blasting you off in the tower. Once you've made it through all of her trainers and made it through all the puzzles and traps, this is what Nerissa's introduction would be. So let's move on to her battle quotes and introduction quote. As the battle intensifies, here are some quotes Nerissa might say. Here's some dialogue for when you have Nerissa on the ropes. After a long, hard-fought battle against the Feathered Beauty, the battle has finally come to a close and you have won. Here are Nerissa's final quotes. Alright, and that is Nerissa's Pokemon Gym Leader team. Please let me know what you thought of the team in the comments, and let me know what you thought of her battle quotes. I did my best to try to represent her, but I also had to throw in that kind of like that Pokemon flair in there. But anyway, yeah, just let me know what you thought about the video. Working on the next one, well, kinda. I'm trying to decide who I'm going to work on next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.